Hi, I'm April Porter. I'm an attorney, a former multi-unit award-winning franchisee, and the CEO of Ask April Porter. And in my position with Ask April Porter, I help franchisees really get unstuck and access their true potential so that they can scale and build the franchise or small business empire of their dreams. One of the things that hold people back and that I hear about all the time in actually accessing the things, the resources, the skills, the business intelligence, the mindset, all the things that really lead to building a business empire is the fact that they've tried something and it hasn't worked. We come up across this all the time, and not just in business, in our personal lives as well, because it is totally natural for the human psyche to avoid pain. If we have experienced something in the past that did not turn out well, it's 100% natural to identify how did we get to that spot and then how do we make sure that never happens again? Well, one way is to avoid doing the things that took us to that spot. This pops up a lot with franchisees in the fact that they feel like they've been, quote, burned before. And we see it quite a bit when it comes to marketing. So I hear from franchisees all the time that they've hired a marketing agency, they've put all this money into digital marketing, into ads, social media management maybe, and they just don't see the results. They can accept the fact that, well, maybe it was a mismatch with the agency. They might say, okay, we picked the wrong person. Let's stop doing that. Let's go find a better agency to work with. But then after a couple months, they still aren't seeing the results. And they're like, for us, digital marketing just doesn't work. And that's how we can start to identify where we are letting past negative experiences dictate and determine the success that and potential that we have to experience today, is when we make blanket statements such as that didn't work for us. The reality is it's not that the strategy is necessarily bad. It could be the implementation of the strategy, the software that is being used to implement the strategy, the people that are being used to implement the strategy. And you know what? It could be the strategy too. It doesn't mean that overall something you shouldn't be doing. Every company has to do marketing to pull new people through the door. Not everybody needs to do digital marketing, or not everybody needs to do in-person events. So the strategies might change, but everyone needs to market in one way, shape, or form. And yet I find franchisees and small business owners who aren't spending any marketing dollars because they've been burned. It started off as it doesn't work for us, but what it snowballs into is a fear of failing again, because that's what bubbles up when we try something and say, I made a bad decision. I invested in the wrong person. I invested in the wrong strategy. Because I failed, now I'm afraid of making another misstep, particularly because money is often tied to these failures. We feel like we, quote, wasted money, when in fact, it wasn't necessarily a waste. We can always learn what not to do. Unfortunately, though, in business, it paralyzes people. Once you're paralyzed and you can no longer take forward-moving action in your business because of bad experiences, you are just waiting for your number to come up. If we're not advancing, if we are not growing a business, ultimately, it will slide backwards and it will decline and fail. How do you prevent that? Well, one, let's take a look at other instances in life where we did not let this stop us. And the easiest analogy is when it comes to dating and finding your spouse. For most people, they did not marry the first person they had a crush on. For me, I was a little mature for my age, and I got my first boyfriend in first grade, and we were boyfriend-girlfriend through third grade. Yes, long-term relationship right out of the gate. We held hands during library time, and that was the extent of our whole relationship until I cut my hair. And when I cut my hair in the third grade, Jojo, he broke up with me. It was a sad day. That didn't stop me. Just because I had one failed relationship in the third grade didn't stop me from looking for the next cute guy on the playground. And then high school, dated even more, dated into college, and then found my husband when I was in law school. My husband is my perfect match. We are complete opposites. He's the cool kid. I'm the nerd. I'm obviously the beauty. and he's got some brains. But all joking aside, I can see retrospectively where every one of those relationships before I met my husband might have been stressful and sad when it ended, but it was preparing me for what I didn't want. And when I met my husband, it put me in the perfect position to identify what I did want, to know with certainty this was an investment. Investing in my relationship with him was an investment that would pay off and give me the life that I wanted. If I would have said after JoJo dumped me in the third grade, whew, that was intense and it did not work for me. Man, I got burned and I am not interested in doing that again. And I'm afraid that people are going to think less of me or laugh at me if I can't hold down a boyfriend. Then where would I be today? So why is it so easy for us to overcome this exact same scenario when it comes to our personal lives and dating, but so difficult in business? Well, the answer is love. Love is absolutely the strongest emotion and it is the highest vibration. We talk a lot about energy on the podcast and on our live shows about how everything on the planet has energy and your emotions also have energy, and the emotion of love vibrates at the highest vibration. But when we're going through our dating experiences, and once we end a relationship, even if it is bad, once we go through the grieving period, we look at the next potential relationship with hope and with love, because that's what we're seeking. We're ultimately seeking love and acceptance. In business, it's different, because many times when we are leaving that marketing scenario and now someone else is coming to us and saying, I have some marketing solutions that I believe will truly take your business to the next level. We're not looking at it as, oh my gosh, I would love to be at that level. I am worthy of being at that level. We're not leading with that emotion. What we're leading with is, what if you can't? What if this is just another, like I spend the money on it and it's failed? And that's really a big piece of it. In our dating lives, we are risking just ourselves and just our emotions. And for some reason, when we start to put money into the game, we're often willing to give it a higher priority. We're more afraid of losing that money than we are of getting emotionally hurt. And it's because money is often the outward status symbol of our success, whereas our emotions are the inward measurement of whether something is successful. If you feel great about it, it's a success. If you feel crappy about it, it's a failure. Only if you make money are you outwardly successful. If you made a bad decision and you lose money, it may put you in a position where you can't make other decisions, and everyone's going to know. Everyone's going to know that you're failing. That's what your mind is telling you is happening. It's up to you to reverse that. It's up to you to commit to the feeling that you want to have. It's up to you to commit to where you want to be in your journey. And it's up to you to understand that taking risks is always going to be part of getting what you want. You took a risk to become a business owner. You took a risk on those first decisions you made about marketing and who we're going to go with. If you really want to get there, you're going to have to keep taking risks. But how do you do that and protect yourself? Well, you have to get smarter about the subject matter. When you have a business intelligence about marketing, it allows you to properly vet marketers. So now you know the right questions to ask. You know the right metrics to take a look at. You know how to read and understand the results they've gotten for past clients. You know how to evaluate the graphic design, the artistic side of things, the copywriting, and whether or not it's following along with a particular customer avatar. When you understand how to do those things, you do not have to fear making a bad investment because you know how to vet it. You'll be able to say, oh, this person knows exactly what they're talking about. Great, we can be on the same page and go together to reach our destination. Or alternatively, you could say, wow, that person didn't seem to know what I know. Or maybe they just didn't communicate in the same way as I did, but I didn't feel in alignment with them, and I think we need to look for someone else. That's really the key. Investing in yourself first. That's really what you're doing when you decide to take another chance on love. You evaluate what you did or didn't like about the past one, and then you say, I think moving forward, this is what I want to look for. This is how I want to feel. This is what I am worth. Maybe I should start looking for people in a different place. If I met my last relationship in a bar, maybe I want to join a singles book club and see who's there. Maybe I want to ask my friends to set me up. Or if it was a blind date, maybe I don't want to ask my friends to set me up anymore. Regardless, what you're doing is you're educating yourself on what you want and don't want. You are increasing your relationship intelligence. In business, where people make a mistake, they hired the original marketer believing that that marketing person would take over for them and they wouldn't have to think about it. They wouldn't have to know about it. They would be able to trust that person completely to get it done. And then when it didn't get done the way they thought, they lost trust not just in that marketing person, but in all marketing people. Whereas if instead the business owner had said, you know what, let me invest in myself. Let me start to get an understanding about this marketing thing so that I can find the expert that will do it for me. Just because you build your business intelligence in a particular area does not mean you have to be the one doing the marketing. It just helps you find, identify, and select the right person who is the expert and can take you where you want to be. So the key is always to invest in yourself first. And when you invest in yourself first, then every time you get, quote, burned by picking the wrong person or investing in the wrong tactic, you can take a moment and educate yourself on what needs to take place in the future. And that answer might be that you need a bigger education, that you need to find out what piece of the puzzle is missing for you so that you can be the strategist of your business and identify those that are going to take you there faster. So if you've been burned before, number one, you're not alone. You're not alone. It's happened to all of us in one aspect of life or another. But are you going to let that paralyze you and hold you back from the greatness that you are capable of? Or are you going to overcome that? Are you going to find the resources that you need, whether it's education or even more capital and more money to make more investments so that you can reach your full potential and you can fulfill your purpose while you're here on earth? If this is something you want to learn more about how to really understand the pieces of the puzzle that you need to fill in, the business education in the different areas of business, legal, finance, marketing, operations, mindset, leadership, human resources, any of that, then I recommend that you come and join us on Release Your Business Beast Bootcamp. It's free and it's happening 3 days, 1 hour per day. It's just 1 hour per day. We're going to be talking about the different aspects of how to elevate yourself and use that to elevate your business. And that's why it's called Release Your Business Beast, because each one of you is a business beast just waiting to break out of your cage, just needing the right resources and the right ignition to make it happen. So I hope you'll join us. My name's April Porter. Welcome. We are changing the franchising industry. Show up every day authentically as yourself, unapologetically to infinite success.